Welcome, everybody. It's like the first nice day out. It's like at least 75. So I figured I have to come out, smoke a cigar, and shoot the breeze. I'm smoking the Steve Saka, the Dunbarton's Red Meat Lovers cigar in the Fratanga Vitola. Sean, what's up? How are you? See if I can move this a little bit closer to me. That might be a little bit better. I can put that a little bit back. All right. Yeah, I'm well. Things are good. Things are great. Been super busy. Um, Today I had to chart a bunch of songs. One for a student, two for my band. And yeah, it's blue skies here. Yeah, the rain left us yesterday or Sunday, I think. What's today? Tuesday already? But it's beautiful out. It's nice to finally get some decent weather. Supposed to cool down for the next couple of days. I think it stays cool, like in the 60s. That's why I'm taking advantage of this day while I can. I had a buddy of mine call me. We played in a band. Let me see how many years it was ago. I met him in '86. Played in the band until '88. What is that? 40 years ago? Fuck. So 40 years ago. And we keep in touch. Not as good as we should, but we do. But he reached out to me to let me know he was in a new band. And then he was learning the song on YouTube and then realized it was me teaching it. He thought he got the biggest kick out of that. I think it's funny too. It happens a lot when I play in martinis down in Plymouth. A lot of people come up and be like, I think you taught me a song. And I'm like, very possible. It's very possible. But I had a conversation with a guy the other day, last week or 2 weeks ago. Can't remember which weekend it was. But we were talking about, like, he was just talking to me about some music theory stuff. And then he was like, oh, I got to go to your channel and watch some of these videos. I should learn it. But it surprises me just what, I don't know, because schools teach it all fucked up anyways. So I love those, I don't know what his name, Marvin Music. I love his videos where he just rips on Berkeley because I know a lot of Berkeley guys. In fact, I give lessons to two. And yeah, I'm surprised. I like, what did they teach you? I don't understand it. I guess they don't really give them a practical sense of speaking the language, I guess is what I would say. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, Sean, I missed what you said. Let me look and see if I can see that chat. Here we go. Yeah, years fly by, yeah. Hey, thanks so much. I can't really read the name. Ernie, looks like. Thank you. Now I'm glad. You know, it's funny because, you know, people will give me a hard time going, that's not how the song. I'm like, I teach songs so you can play it on acoustic, and I'm bringing in all the elements that's being played so it sounds like the song, not so you could sit there and go, this is what Roger Hodgson actually played on this. It's like, no. That to me is simple. I don't know why I brought his name into it because I don't, his songs I teach pretty much the way he plays it. But in general, I just try to teach it so you get all the elements and it sounds like the song. And that's where I think voicings are important. Wow, it's getting windy. I think the voicings are important. How's the audio with all this wind? Is it all right? From 77 to 84, a bunch of my high school buds. Hold on. I love the years you chose because I think that might be the best in September. And we're putting together a playlist to listen to. So I just listened to on Spotify songs that I called the greatest rock songs. I mean, let me see. If I have to pick the greatest rock songs, I mean, obviously, I think you have to put Carry On My Wayward Son, even though I do like Song for America better. It's just more iconic, Carry On My Wayward Son. I think Renegade by Styx is in that conversation. Led Zeppelin's 10 Years Gone. That's 75. What? Yeah, I think that's before your time, you said. Would you say 77? Fuck, 77 has two of my favorite songs. You got fucking songs from Smoke from a Distant Fire and Baby Come Back, but those are like pop songs. Let me think. In the rock format, I mean, I love a song called Lonely Children off of the Double Vision album by Foreign. I think that's their best song. Hey, Johnny. Um, 81 to me is the strongest year in that sense of, or 80 or 81, maybe even 80. Oh, okay, yeah, because it's getting super windy. I think Neon Nights by Black Sabbath, the opening track on Heaven and Hell, is a monster song. Rapid Fire by Judas Priest, 1980. 81, you've got anything off the Billy Squier Don't Say No album. Lonely is the Night or 2 Days Gone. 81, you also have Lunatic Fringe, which I think is fantastic. And Aaliyah by Donnie Iris. '81 to '82, yeah, '81, '82. Those were good years. '81 to me is one of the 80 and '81 are the two best years of music, I think. It's a back-to-back, just great songs. Yeah, I didn't care so much for Elf. I had two of their albums when I was a kid. It was okay. I thought it was better when they were Rainbow, when the first Rainbow album, because that's really like Elf with just Richie sitting in. Then they fired everybody, and Rainbow Rising is a better album. And then Long Live Rock and Roll. I go back and forth on which one I like better, Rainbow Rising and Long Live Rock and Roll. Today it might be Long Live Rock and Roll. Last week it might have been Rising. I go back and forth. I think Rising's more of a heavier sound that I like, but Long Live Rock and Roll I think is a it doesn't have the song Do You Close Your Eyes or whatever that stupid song is on Rising that I think is the weak link on that album. If you're talking about great songs, there's a great song from 1980 off the Yes Drama album, Tempest Fugit. and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's Latin, but Time Flies. Love that song. Um, telling you, 81, 82. You got to put Aaliyah in there by Donny Iris. You got to have Lunatic Fringe. Those songs were so iconic. Lunatic Fringe might be 82, not 81. I think it's 82. Aaliyah, I believe, is 81. It's either 80 or 81. He had a couple of hits. I think the other one, Love is Like a Rock, might have been 80. The John Hall Band, Crazy by John Hall Band. That was a great song. You probably don't remember, but if you look it up, you'll know it. Crazy by the John Hall Band. And that song, John Hall was the guy who was the guitar player for the band Orleans and the principal songwriter. And then he went and started his own band, which I loved. I loved all this stuff. Zebra was 83, absolutely. Who's Behind the Door? My favorite on that album is the La La song. I just saw Zebra a couple of, might have been a year ago now. Well, it could have been last October. It was October. It's awesome. I went by myself, and it was great. Which is always good when you go to a show. If you like the band and you don't know people that are too into them, it's like, because I loved every song, and I would have hated it been there with somebody going, oh, what song is this? What's this? What's this? I would have been like going nuts. Let's see what else. I mean, there's so many great. Judas Priest, 82 had Screamer for Vengeance album, which I think was just a great, great record. You've Got Another Thing Coming was the hit. Hellion Electric Eye. '82 was also Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. And it's also Donald Fagen, The Nightfly, which is another one of my favorite albums. And I think Scorpions was 82 on what that Blackout album. I was going to say, what the hell's the name of that album with Blackout on it? It's Blackout. Unleashed in the East is my favorite live album, bar none. Easily my favorite live album is Judas Priest Unleashed in the East. That, for me, was my guitar school, because I would come home from high school and play along to that album, and I'd play along to the two Michael Schenker records, the MSG from 81, which, by the way, On and On off that album is fantastic, which should be one of the greatest songs ever, and then the Built to Destroy album I used to play along to. But at least in the East, man, I had every lick down, every solo down. That was like my coming up. Coming up. Well, 76 was Presence, and 79 was In Through the Outdoor. I mean, In Through the Outdoor, you have Fool in the Rain. But other than that, I mean, I like Carousel Alhambra. I don't love that album. Oh, I do love Southbound Suarez. I think that's a great song. In the Evening's cool. I'm Gonna Crawl, I like. But it's not like a Zepp album. Like, I mean, Presence in 76 is awesome. I love Achilles' Last Stand, Free Alive, Royal Orleans, Candy Store Rock, Hot's On for Nowhere. I love that album. And Coda came out in '82, and I like Darlene off that record. I liked a lot of songs, Wearing and Tearing. And We're Gonna Groove was great. But Physical Graffiti from '75, that's their monster record in my opinion. I can put on disc 2 of that CD set and just listen to that nonstop. It's phenomenal. For any of my viewers of the channel that are in London or in the England area, my brother and I are planning on, maybe we haven't locked in the date yet, but I'm thinking maybe the last week of July. We're gonna go for like 5 days and hang out, and smoke cigars over at Davidoff's on German Street, and pop around. Oh, I love Y&T. I like Don't Stop Running by Y&T. Well, Don't Stop Running in Mean Streak. She's got a mean streak. Van Halen from in that, well, '82 is that awful album, Diver Down, which I mean I do like the Full Bug, and I like Hang 'Em High, but other than that, you could throw out that whole record. Other than those two songs, '81, man, you got Fair Warning. I mean that's awesome. Dirty Movies, Center Swing, Hear About It Later, awesome. 1980, you got Women and Children First. That's my favorite. Romeo's Delight, Fools, love it. I didn't really care for 1984 either. I mean, it's more poppy. I do like Girl Gone Bad as being that and Drop Dead Legs. I think are the two highlights on that record. Oh, you know what's a great song? Rossington Collins Band, Don't Misunderstand Me, between '77 and '84. I couldn't tell you the year. My guess is going to be '81, '80 maybe. I honestly, there's a couple of years after Skin broke up, so that brings me to '79, '80. But Don't Misunderstand Me by Rossington Collins was awesome. Oh, I love the first album by Men at Work. Down by the sea, I have my buried treasure. I love that. Love that record. And Cargo wasn't bad. Cargo was the second album. That was pretty good. I do like the first album more. I'm trying to think, is It's a Mistake on Cargo? What I knew. I used to like a lot of the '80s, early, like '82, '83, the Joe Boxers, Just Got Lucky. I thought that was such a cool vibe coming out of England at that time. Really just great. Yeah. And I think they had Don't Misunderstand Me was the one that's like a duet with his wife, right? It's Gary Rossington and his wife. I don't know. Did Gary sing? But it's his wife that's singing the female part of that song, and her voice is great. Oh yeah, but I think that was the British look of like the ska and the like all the different. They had so many different styles of music around then. There was the modern, the ska, and like Madness and the Specials, and then you had the Mods, and you had the New Romantics like Japan and Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet. Everybody was going for a different look, and they're probably all, well, I think Japan was London based. As Duran Duran's definitely Birmingham. A couple of Birmingham chums. cigar is pretty good. It's a new version of the Red Meat Lovers, and by Steve Saka and Dunbarton Cigars. And I don't think I've ever had a bad Red Meat Lovers. Um, I want to say this one feels like it's. I think it's got a darker wrapper, like a stronger wrapper. Like this might be Mexican San Andreas, Mexican broadleaf. I mean, whatever it is, it's good though. Goes great with my coffee. I'm drinking Downey's Roasters coffee, located in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. But they sell them in my supermarket, so I buy it because it's good. It's the goods, everybody. How many cigars do I smoke a day? 3. I actually smoked a pipe the other day on Sunday. My brother was in town, my older brother, and for my mom's birthday, we all went out to his restaurant called Abe and Louie's. I got, oh my God, 2 sides of bacon, 3 eggs, and a ribeye cap steak. And very rarely do I ever get really full. I was full. Came home, had a cigar and coffee. Was like, oh my God, I could. And then I had a pipe. I went. Oh, actually, after the. I left out the most important part. After the meal, we Ubered back, but I had an Uber stop over at the L.J. Peretti, which is the oldest tobacconist in Boston. I think it's the oldest in the country, but they make their own pipe tobacco. So I went and bought this tobacco called Tashkent. And I knew nothing about it. I just saw a review and said that that was somebody's favorite. And I came home and had that with my coffee. I was like, oh yeah, I'll be smoking my pipes a lot more with this stuff. It was great. That was a great tobacco. But on the average, about 3 a day. This is number 2 for me right now. When I got back from the gym, I showered, whatever, blah, blah, came out and had a Kintsugi Wabi Sabi from Alec Bradley, which, by the way, I had about 5 or 6 of them when I got them. I wasn't loving it. And then the last one I smoked, I'm like, wow, this cigar's really good. Right? I'm like, oh, I'm not buying it again. The first 5, I was like, this is an okay cigar. It's not as good as the regular Kintsugi, however you pronounce it. It wasn't as good as the original. But then the last one I had, I was like, well, this one's good. So who the hell knows? But I'm looking forward to going into the Davidoff store in London and picking up some Cubans. Maybe even a few Cuban cigars. But pick up some Cuban cigars. I know there's a coffee shop that lets you smoke out there outside, an outdoor coffee shop. That'd be nice. And if I can run into some people, if anybody wants to meet up, that'd be really cool. I thought about making up a line of cigars, yeah, but I haven't followed through with it. I have to be honest. If I could plan a trip to Nicaragua, I would do it. I have a buddy that keeps asking me to go because he goes to the factories where they make cigars and whatnot. We've talked about it, him and I. I guess it just depends on what kind of investment it is, how much I'd have to put in. But I consider it for sure. Especially since I know what I like. And I think a lot of these companies, they do what a lot of new guitar companies do, is they come out with too many products. And I think the ones that are always more successful come out with the fewer products but really focused on those fewer products. You know, um, because if I sat here and talked about like, okay, so I don't know what you guys know about cigars or anything, but like when the Cuba embargo went in, companies down in like, well, the States and South America, Central America, started buying up the buying the name. So like you can get a Monte Cristo #2 in Cuba, and it's a fantastic cigar. The Monte Cristo that you can buy in the States has nothing to do with the Cuban brand, other than they share the same name. And most of those Monte Cristos, and there's a million of them, a million different cigars they make. They just throw everything at a wall and hopefully one will stick. And I'd have to say most of them are terrible. And I would never reach for one unless somebody said, you got to try this one, which is good. Now, because I belong to a couple of cigar clubs, sometimes you get one. So I got one that was an AJ Fernandez blended Monte Cristo called the 1935 anniversary Diamante Edición. That cigar was fantastic. Uh, I can say that I've never really had a good Monte Cristo other than that. Yeah, I'm sitting on so many cigars right now. I mean, I've got boxes and boxes that haven't even been opened yet, and my humidors are packed. I have three humidors. One holds 100, the other two hold 40, and all three are packed. And that doesn't include the boxes I have still in packages. Um, I will say Diesel is another brand where Diesel usually makes very strong cigars. And I tend to like strong cigars, especially with a coffee. Love it. However, I also do like a medium body that is good if the flavors are there. And Diesel makes this cigar called the Vintage Natural. And honestly, in the 5 by 56 Vitola, which is a very wide cigar for my taste, I tend to like them smaller, more like a shelf life. If you got a humidor, you can keep them in there forever, 20 years. Um, or if they're packaged in a box, they're protected, like if they're sealed. But this Vintage Natural by Diesel, I would say to me it was like the closest to a Cuban smoking cigar from a non-Cuban. Just all the flavors. It's just a great cigar. I'm not saying that Cuban cigars are the best. There are some that I like, I mean, more than others, obviously. The Romeo y Julieto, Short Churchill and Wide Churchill from Cuba is fantastic. The H. Upman #2 and the H. Upman, I forget what it was called, 54 is a great cigar. And and the Partagas D is probably my favorite. Monte Cristo #2 is a great one. I mean, there's some great ones, but there's also a lot of stuff. There's a lot of guys around here that claim to have Cuban cigars, and so I split a box with a friend of mine because the price was stupid. And I said to my buddy, I said, if these aren't real, I don't care because this is cheap even for a fake. And the second I smoked the first one, I'm like, these I'm going to be giving these away. They're terrible. They were fake. And I could tell right away once we got them. And I said, listen, I told you they were going to be fake because that price was stupid. And no one's getting them in boxes like that and giving me a list of any box I can get. Bullshit. Now, were those cigars Cuban? Probably. But they weren't made by Cohiba. They were knockoff made in Cuba that guys make, and that's where they come out of. And they'll sit there and say, we got them out of Cuba. I'm not doubting you got them out of Cuba. What I'm saying is they're not real. You know what I mean? It's like those guys that make knockoffs Gibsons, private builders that'll make you a knockoff Gibson, and they could be better than Gibson, but it's not a Gibson. And I'm not saying that in a defamatory way. I'm just saying it's not a Gibson. It's made by some other guy. It wasn't made by the factory. So the same type of thing. These guys are making it. So when I say that, some of those knockoff Cohibas, people are very capable of making a good cigar. In fact, I've talked to many people who've had fake Cohibas and knew they were fake and said they were still great. These were not. The ones that I got were terrible. Terrible. Just flavorless, awful. I used to like this cigar by El Rey del Mundo called the Flor de Llaneza. Always a great medium smoke, Cuban-esque. And then the last time I bought a box, I was like, are you kidding me? It was terrible. I'll never buy them again. So now I'm picky. Now I'm like, I'll do my cigar club, and I only smoke stuff that I've smoked recently and that I know that I like, so I know I'm getting from the same batch. I am going to be selling new merch soon. I went to a different company. I still have the company that I was using before, but I'm going to a secondary company where you can buy it on Shopify. Because I like those baseball shirts, like the white with the red sleeves or the white with the black sleeves, 3/4 length baseball shirts. So I'm going to be having those come out soon. I think it's could be on my YouTube channel now, the white with the red. The white with the black's not up yet. I'm working on designing the logo, but I have the logo that I want on the first one already. Most expensive cigar I bought was a Cuban cigar when I was in London. I bought it at Harrods, and it was a Wide Churchill, and I think they were like $30 each. I bought a 3-pack. Other than that, here, the most expensive I spent was... Actually, that's not true. I smoked a $40 cigar recently. Somebody recommended it to me and said, you got to have it at least once. So I tried it. I was like, it's good. Didn't blow my socks away. I have $10 cigars that are better. I have $5 cigars that are better. I $25 cigar, the God of Fire by Fuente. The God of Fire is very good. Is it worth $25? No, not to me. Not to me. I can buy, when I get cigars, I buy them online, and I get such a good price. I mean, I'm smoking Plasencias, which I think are the best cigars out there. Aganorsa Leaf is one of the best cigars, the companies out there. The thing is, people think you need to spend like a lot of money, and that's garbage. No. And I watch these guys that do cigar reviews, and I laugh because they all have pareidolia. They all think that it's like listening to guitar players talk about their tone. They're like, oh, this has hints of chocolate, and I taste brown sugar. I've never tasted brown sugar in a cigar in my life. If that's what brown sugar tastes like to them, I would never eat it. Who would ever eat it? But they make up these things of what they think they're tasting, and I'm like, even the pipe guys, they're like, like I watched the guy doing Tashkent because I just bought it, and the guy's like, oh, I taste the Orientals. I'm like, there's Orientals in this thing? I would have no idea. To me, it's, do I enjoy it? Am I enjoying the flavor? It's as a whole. As to how it's made, what tobaccos are in it, and what am I trying to dissect it? I could care less. It's a waste of my time. Most of the time when I'm smoking, I'm in my garage, and I have a TV in there with a Fire Stick, and I'm playing poker. I'm in tournaments all day smoking cigars. I got my music playing, my Spotify playing, and I could give a shit that somebody thinks there's, hints of cinnamon on the retrohale. Yeah, I'm not tasting cinnamon. Tastes like tobacco to me. This cigar has a darker taste to me. It tastes like it's more cooked, the tobacco. That's how it tastes. I wouldn't say it has a particular flavor. I also think that it's not a creamy smoke. It's a thin smoke. Sometimes the smoke is like super creamy, and I say creamy as in texture, not as in taste. So that's about as far as I go into that nonsense. I watched a short recently, like a reel, I guess they call it, and it was a guy playing a solo, playing a an Epiphone, a Les Paul, a regular Les Paul, a PRS, and a Strat. And it's like, which solo sounds the best? And they're all, I mean, they're all the same. And either one, I was if you like at first I thought the Les Paul sounded great. And then I heard the Strat, I'm like, ooh, I like it a little brighter like that. But then again, if you record it with the Paul, you could just go EQ it the way you want it to sound. So all this stuff about, oh, this is the kind of guitar you need to go into a session, that's all nonsense. Play what you play. I saw a great interview once with Larry Carlton talking about his Sleepwalk album. And they were like, oh, Mr. 335 is back with that classic 335 tone. And he was like, yeah, I used my Valley Art Strat on the whole guitar, on the whole record. I never played the 335. But people don't know. They put it in their head. That's what they're hearing. And lo and behold, there's your sound. I will tell you, I've been watching this doctor who talks about the effects of nicotine and how it's really beneficial for your healing system. Your what do you call it? Your ability to defend yourself against viruses. And 2 weeks ago, I could feel a sore throat coming on, and I could feel it in my nasal. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm getting a bad cold. I smoked 5 cigars that day nonstop to see if I could stop it the way the guy says. And then I went to bed, and just I could tell I was a little congested. I'm like, I'm gonna wake up with full blown cold. And I woke up and I was 100% normal. I was like, this motherfucker's right. It's unbelievable. But it has something to do with the receptors and the receptors that a virus is attached to. Either way, I'm going on, I can't even tell you how long it's been without a cold. Can you imagine we're already in 2026? These fucking years are flying by. Flying by. It's nuts. What else? What do you got? Any questions for me? What would I give advice for someone who lacks confidence? Well, I would just keep playing and play. Most people don't play. So, oh yeah, it's just, yeah, all that happens all the time with in the studio where people start asking you for stuff and you look at them like, what do you want me to do? And then you don't do it and they're like, oh, that's it. It's like, I didn't do anything. Just understand that most people don't play and most people will be impressed no matter what you do. And just get out there and play. I'll tell you, what changed my life in a way. It's a really good buddy of mine, this kid Rick. He lives in Florida now. He was like one of the main reasons I moved to LA. I played in a band with him when I was in high school. But the day, like we knew each other, but we weren't really friends. And one day And I was writing songs back then, and no Sleepwalk album. I like Alone but Never Alone. I like both those records. But anyway, so this kid comes up to me and he's like, "D, we're in the film class together, you and I." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "So we're gonna write songs and we're gonna do a band and make videos." And I'm looking at him going, "Okay." And then he hands me 3 sheets of paper with lyrics on them, and says, "Look at read these over and see if you can make a song out of these." And I was like, "You got the fucking balls to fucking just hand me lyrics and not care that I might judge them?" And that changed everything for me. I was just like so impressed with that. It floored me. But I was so impressed with him. I'm like, "You don't care." He goes, "No, if you don't like it, you don't like it." So I ended up writing two of the three I made into songs, and we put a band together. And after that, then I started writing stuff and was like way more, "Here's my song. What do you think?" If somebody wanted to make a change or somebody had I didn't care. But that really changed the way I looked at everything. That kid just did not give two shits. And we're still great friends. In fact, funny story, he went to school out in Texas, college, and he called me up one time and he was like, "Hey dude, you got a fucking A in my fucking poetry class." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Oh, I submitted a few of your songs." I was like, that is so fucking funny. Yeah, this kid just didn't care. He did not care to be judged. And that changed a lot of things. That changed a lot of things for me. Where, I mean, people to this day, when I work with singers, so like Jimmy's he's going to Memphis in 2 weeks. And so we have a singer stepping in. And she sings with us all the time. And she always asks about if there's a gig, she'll ask me if I can do the gig with her. And cause she's like, "You just don't give a shit. You never get nervous, and you don't." I'm like, "No." She's like, "No, but I'll say a song. You don't even sure if you know it." And you're like, "Let's try it." I'm like, "I don't care." Then let me tell you, I'll know the chords wrong before they know it. You know it, so I don't give a shit. But yeah, so you kind of have to lose that and be like, "Listen, this is you're doing your best. Have fun." You know, and don't listen to what anyone says, good or bad, because you anyone can be nice, and some people will sit there and say, we'll be honest. Honesty is tough to come by, but yeah, most people won't be honest with you. But if they are, and they're like, "Hey, that I like that, or that's cool," the proof is in the working in the business as long as I have. It's the money. Are they paying you? Are they willing to pay you for it? Is it free? You know what I mean? If it's free, anyone can tell you, "Yeah, it's great. Keep giving me free shit." But when somebody buys it, which is why in the arguments of when someone talks about great records, I say that record sales back in the 70s have to be a factor. Today, not so much, because they market the piss out of it that when you put $1 billion into marketing, well, you're going to make your billion back. Well, it doesn't. But they weren't doing that in the 70s. Not to the extent they do today. So when you look at like an album like Rumors, I mean, it did so well. I mean, all you got to do is listen to the album and you realize why it did so well. I mean, almost every song is great. Do I think it's a better album than Steely Dan and Asia that year? No. Do I think it's good as album as Earth, Wind, and Fire's All in All that year? No. Boy, 77 was a good year. What again? Dimiola, Elegant Gypsy? It might be better. I mean, I would say people would like it better than that. However, I feel it's a perfect album, whereas I feel Rumors I don't care for Songbird. The slower Christy McVie stuff to me is like her upbeat pop stuff. I love Over My Head, You Make Lovin' Fun, but Songbird, sorry for you. I just don't like it. But I'm a picky motherfucker. What can I tell you? I think 77 was also Draw the Line, which is what I call the first of the not great Aerosmith albums. It was good, but it wasn't great. When the first four were just fantastic. What else came out in 77? Oh, is there a Kansas album in 77? What the hell? Point of No Return? With Dust in the Wind? That was a good record. How long we sail away? That's my Peter Griffin. Give me 1 second. I'm going to refill my coffee. Was it you that said how long we sailed away into the... All right, I'm back with a refilled coffee. I always brew 2 cups at a time. What else is going on? Any other questions? That was a good question about asking about playing in front of other people. Oh, no worries. I love Steve Hackett's playing on like I fuck around when AM station is warming up. I always fuck around with playing Fly on the Windshield. Hovering like a on the freeway. We're actually working into playing Kashmir acoustically. Um, so fun. Oh, let the sun beat down upon my face. I mean, there's really not a lot of parts to the song, but When playing with new musicians, my tolerance level, well, I don't play with people I would never not know. But yeah, I mean, uh, I don't, probably not great. I mean, I don't know. There's a guy who sits in and plays piano with us a lot, and I've never played with him before. And sometimes I'll comment on timing stuff or where stuff is sitting in the pocket, but nothing. I mean, nothing of a contentious nature. But like, there was a song we used to play a lot together. I love this kid, by the way. He's such a good kid, and he's fun. But we play a song, and I'm like, why? How are you beating me to the downbeat every time? And he just looked at me with a blank face. Said, "What do you mean?" I go, "I just don't know how you're beating me to the downbeat." So he thinks I didn't know what if he understood what I was trying to say was that he's rushing. He's rushing out of four, and it wasn't that he was playing a push because I would simply just say there's no push there. But he was beating me to the downbeat, and I couldn't figure out how he was doing it. I was like, and why he was doing it. It was out of time. He was like coming in at some weird beat. And so now we've done the song a few times enough where he sat in with us. Now we lock in. He's even playing my licks on the piano that I used to do all the time because now it's so ingrained in his ear from playing the song. But yeah, it was just so it's I guess I'm fine with playing with new people. I just timing is probably having somebody not rush and play in the groove and play to the pocket is the most important. When we play in my trio, Kenny's playing the cajon. There are some times where I'll like nudge him with my foot and be like, pick it up or slow it down, where I just feel like we're getting away from it, where the groove should be. But yeah, timing is probably my biggest thing. I saw a guy. I know a guy who plays, and he takes lessons from another guy in the area, and he's been taking lessons for years. And I went to an open jam, and I saw him play the student, and I said, "Are you still taking lessons?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Listen, it's not working." And I said, "I will give you like lessons for free just to fix what is driving me nuts about you playing. That you've been playing now, but I've known the guy like 8 years. I'm like, this should have been fixed." And it's basically just the bending to. In fact, Ingve does a little joke on it. I think it's on Beato's thing where he talks about people in the store that bend in between notes. It doesn't work, especially if you're trying to hit a note. It's used both. I mean, like a lot of solos will use delayed add sustain to the note, a natural sustain, if you set it that way. And rhythmically, in a rhythm sense, you really want to make sure that it's tempo right to the beat. But I mean, it's all like there's no right and wrong, you know. I'll tell you a funny story. I have a buddy of mine who's Israeli in LA, and he's a producer. And he used to do a lot of shit for like ESPN. He was doing so many cues for like ESPN, and he was constantly working. And he's a great, funny as fuck kid with a heavy Israeli accent. And calls me up one day and he's like, "David, I need you. You're going to come down and you're going to play some stuff like U2. It's for ESPN. And we bang it out in an hour." I said, "What exactly am I doing?" And he's like, "It's a heavily delayed." I was like, "Call somebody else, dude." He's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Listen, that's not really what I do. I mean, I can do it. And if I get down there, by the time I figure out how to set the delays and work all that shit, we're going to be 3 hours in. And then I'll nail it. But It's a 20-minute gig for somebody that's their style. Like that's what they do. It literally, I was on the phone maybe 20 minutes with him. I had to talk him out of hiring me, and so he calls me back. Well, then before we hung up the phone, he says, "If I can't find somebody, you're doing it." I said, "I'll do it if you can't find anyone." Calls me the next day and says, "Banged it out in 20 minutes, like you said. This guy I called, that's all he does is that U2 sounding shit, and he was fucking great." I said, "That's why you called. That's why you needed that guy to do it, not me." You know. And so when people ask me questions about can you use a delay for this, there's no right or wrong. It's you do your style, set up how you want your sound, and play. It's not really what I do. I mean, I can set up delays and do stuff on my own if I'm writing the piece or whatnot. But you know, to go in and be that guy that's going to go into a session where you're locked in, because I've done a lot of sessions, and sessions can be very fun, and sessions can be very boring and tedious. And the boring and tedious is a lot of times when you're being asked to do something you don't usually do, or you wouldn't think to do. And not that it takes a long time to do it, because it doesn't, but you're just not enjoying what you're doing. And that sucks. But I'll take the 1200 walking in the door all day, so I'll do it. I mean, I'll take it and do it. But it's not like when somebody calls you up and says, "Dude, I need you to do what you do." And I was like, okay. Yeah. Well, somebody that's spending too much time dialing in their gear, my theory is, or they never happy with their gear. My theory is they're not happy with themselves, and they don't know that. They think it's the equipment, and they're unhappy with the equipment because it's not doing what they want it to do. But in a sense, it's them. And I'll tell you why, because I used to play, and I still practice to this day when I do, and I don't know if I would call it practice. When I pick up my guitar and feel like noodling, I never plug it in. So everything I'm doing, I'm playing clean and can be heard acoustically on an electric guitar. That when I go play it on any amplifier, the amplifier doesn't matter to me. Now, some amps are going to sound better than others, but I'm never sitting there I mean, I'll tweak something for 2 seconds. Be like, well, I know this thing, I like a little bit more treble. Take out that boomy bottom because I'm with the bass. Other than that, it should take 2 seconds and then play. And you should be able to play it. But most of the people, you'll always find that when people sit there and they struggle with their gear, it's them. You know? Like Yngwie Malmsteen's going to pick up any guitar, any amplifier, and play like Yngwie. The sound to you is going to be inconsequential. To him, he's going to be like, yeah, I like the sound of that Marshall better. You might not think so. It doesn't matter, because he's just talking about how it feels when he plays. But he's not killing himself over, and he's not, you know, he found what he liked and he plays them. So I always feel like people that sit there with a lot of gear stuff and struggle with finding the right gear is the struggle from within of spending too much time with gear and not enough time playing. I mean, you've seen that Larry Carlton interview where he talks about, you know, that he used his Dumbles live, but on the record, that's all fucking old Fenders. A 335 plugged direct into a Fender. And everyone's like, oh, that tone on Kid Charlemagne. Sounds like a humbucker guitar plugged into a Fender amp at the edge of breakup. Sounds great, which I think is great. But, you know, it's the player that you're listening to going, man, that guy. I mean, I'll tell you right now, the worst sound in the world is, to me, a guitar plugged straight into the board. But then you listen to the guitar solo by Grant Giesman on Feels So Good by Chuck Mangione. That thing don't sound like it's, all you hear is how great that guitar solo is. Also, whoever produced that record really put him in that mix perfect. Whereas, when I hear like a song by The Who and I can hear, hey now, yeah, what's up? And I hear uh, Townsend plugged directed to the board, it is like nails on a chalkboard to me. Oh, yeah. Well, my other thing is I get a kick out of people that play high gain amplifiers and then brag that they don't use pedals. And it's like, what? I play a much cleaner sound playing through like four different pedals of gain stages into a Fender amp. And it's the clarity and where it sits is what I want. And someone going, I don't use any pedals, but they're using a high gain amp. I'm like, what do you need a pedal for? What pedal are you going to put on that? You don't need a pedal. You're playing through such high gain. I mean, it's just nuts. Like you hear Eddie Van Halen said that in the past. Well, I don't use pedals. Well, no, but you got a Variac, which is making the gain even a higher gain stage than what you would normally have. And if I listen to that Van Halen 1 album, I'm pretty sure I'm hearing a Phase 90 on the whole. Every time you fucking play a lead, I hear that Phase 90 kick in. That's not a pedal. And what does it matter? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Kempers are fun. I mean, even anything to make your playing easier and, not have to deal with as much shit. Oh, thanks. I got a million of them. I always tell people when I worked in LA, I had the Forrest Gump life. I mean, I was meeting and playing with everybody. And just, I did a song for a film, and I used my dual rectifier and doubled it on both sides. And for the lead, I used a Line 6 Flextone 3 amp. And I would ask people, can they tell what amps I was using? And not once did anyone think that I was plugged directly in into a Line 6 on the solo. You can't tell any of that shit. Just play, make it sound good. Whatever gear you want to use is fine. Shit, when I was first playing, I played a PV Bandit 65 for like the first, how old was I? Up until I was at least 22 years old, that's what I played. 22, 23, I bought a rectifier, a dual rectifier version 1. And, that's a high gain amp. When I played my amp, the gain would be at the 50-yard line. I would never want that sound to be ultra thin compressed. You know? And then, can you make any amp sound good? Yeah, you should be able to. Fuck, a Roland Jazz Chorus can sound awesome. You know? People talk about that Luke the glassy tone in the 80s where he's playing with those EMGs. You could get that same sound with regular pickups. Just go through like a jazz chorus. Yeah. I think I still have a Spider somewhere in the house. I used to use it for students, but then I ended up buying a second Fender Mustang that's a modeling that plugs into my computer. Because the students always like, well, your guitar sounds so good and mine doesn't. So now we have the exact same amp with the exact same setting because everything's done through my computer. And so now they can't say that anymore because it was driving me nuts. I mean, those, your favorite amp's a Carvin Nomad. Wow. I had a friend that used to go play with his band. He would go out on stage with two 50-watt Carvin amps. I couldn't tell you the model. And I went to one of his gigs, and he was like, how does it sound? And I say, will you give me 5 minutes with your amplifier? He goes, sure. I go, do you mind if I change your tone? He goes, do whatever, dude. So I changed his tone. Second half of the show, after that set, he comes up and he's like, dude, I don't know what. I could hear myself so much. I'm like, dude, it sounds so much better. So many people think they're going to play in that, they want that mid hump. Let me tell you, when you go do a record and you go record the amplifier, you're recording it to a fucking 57 usually. Now, sometimes you'll add a secondary mic. Yeah, at some point, Jan, coming up soon. I just haven't figured out the day yet. And, but yeah, it's coming soon. And I forgot where I was. Oh yeah, you got a 57 on it. Maybe you got a 121 or a ribbon mic or some other mic to bring in some bottom end, and then you're mixing them into the board. And almost right off the bat, you're pulling out a lot of the bass. So, people don't take into effect when you're playing live. Nobody wants to hear what you think the best tone is of your amplifier without a bass underneath you. You got to have everything playing. And then you realize that this is why Marshalls, because Marshalls to me are a brittle sounding loud amp. And that's why they work so well. And why they were so good in the 70s is because you're out of the bass player's way, you're out of the singer's way. I'm going to sell a lot of my amps soon. I'm going to keep my dual rectifier, and I'm going to get rid of everything else, and I'm going to buy 2 amps. I'm going to get the vintage sound amp before the summer's over, and I'm going to get a Bogner Shiva, because I'll keep my 2x12. Everything else I'll get rid of. I don't even go out and play live anymore that often, like with electric stuff. I mean, I've gotten a few calls if I would fill in for somebody, and I'm just like, send me the set list. And when I see the set list, I'm like, I have no interest in playing these songs. And they're easy. And it's just, I don't play pedestrian music. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, wireless is good. You don't really lose any, you keep the brightness in the tone because you're not losing anything with the long cable. You're not losing all that high end. I use a buffer when I play just so I don't lose that high end. I play everything standard mainly. I mean, standard or I'll capo something. It just depends. I mean, I think the 70s and the 90s had more of the altered tuning songs. A lot of drop D, open G. Stone stuff was all open G. Well, there's some open E. Um, Chris Cornell kind of came up with a bunch of his own tunings. Well, I don't know if I would call it his own tunings, but I would say it's what's that song? Rusty Cage is basically like a Fifth Below Sweet Judy Blue Eyes tuning, which is just all E's and the B string stays B. But he played, I think it's all B's and the B string is F sharp, but it's the same tuning. Joni Mitchell, all the songs are whacked out tuned. Everything she does is a different tuning. But that was her shtick, you know, that was her thing. Um, Zeppelin had some interesting tuning. They had a C6 tuning. Oh, Joni Mitchell had a different guitar handed to her every day, every time she switched songs on stage. Those guys, her techs had to have been tuning things nonstop. Yeah, I think he was a great singer. I don't think he lasted. Uh, to quote the Blade Runner movie, what does he say? The light that burns twice as bright burns half as long. I think when he was an audio slave, his voice was junk. And you can hear it. They got the compression slammed on it to give it more force. And it was overly compressed. And you could hear he was struggling. I mean, almost to the point like the way Freddie Mercury was on the last few records. Like his voice sounded straining again, like straining. When you listen to like an album like uh, A Day at the Races by Queen, his voice is so pure and great that by the time you get to like The Miracle, you're like, it's straining. And the same with Cornell. Like you get to, uh, oh, James Duar's voice is awesome. Cold wind blows. Shall never time. Oh, he's fucking so unforgiving. I fucking love James Duar. And why so cold? Took a long time crossing Bridge of Sighs. Ah, and that fucking guitar tone Trower has on that record. Oh man. Oh yeah, it's pathetic. Plus the songs aren't. It's no more songwriting anymore. I mean, you look at a song like Dogs by Pink Floyd, there's four chords mainly throughout the whole song. It's basically a repetition. I mean, yes, he gets down to what's that a B7 sharp 5, is it? Either way, most of the song is four chords, and they're four chords that you would never hear any bands today ever play. Today, everything's Simple Simon shit. It's four chords. There's no one's playing any extensions. It's like just four triads. Boring shit. Music's dead. We've lived through the best period. The guy that said he graduated 82, I graduated 86. We lived in the best period. Stumble Down Romance? No, I'll listen to it. I love James Duar's voice. Why so unforgiving? Oh, he's great. I'm living in the day of the eagle, not the dove. Oh, he's like a soulful, what's his name from fucking Paul Rogers. I went back, you know, so I joined Spotify. And so, you know, like I said, I smoke a lot of cigars, play a lot of poker. So I'm listening to like a lot of Instant. Yeah, it's a great one. Two Rolling Stoned. Anyways, I listened to all the Bad Company albums with Paul Rogers the other day. And I gotta say, I was always a little hard on Straight Shooter. The album's better than I give it credit for. I don't think it's great, but it's better than I give it credit for. Another album that I think is a lot better than I gave it credit for is Run with the Pack. Side 2 with Run with the Pack is fucking great. I think it's... Oh, Atlantis? Unbelievable. So I think that's a great album. Burning Sky, I used to say had one good song on it. I think there are 3 good songs on that album. But the 2 other songs are not strong enough to make anyone want to buy that album. The song "Burning Sky" is fantastic, but other than that, um, lastly, well, not lastly, then you have Desolation Angels, and I have to say that now, without a doubt, I believe that's their best album. Side one is a blowaway of any side of any album they ever did. Side two, oh wait, that one has "Oh Atlanta," right? Oh Atlanta. There's one song on it I don't love, and other than that, that album's almost perfect. But I think it's the best album because I hate the song "Seagull" on the first album. Seagull, you fly above the. Could you bore me anymore with a fucking pedestrian song as Seagull? It stinks. Stinks. I hate it. And then, yeah, Desolation Angels is just awesome. But the last album with Paul Rogers, what the hell was that called? With Painted Face and Electric Land. Is it called Electric Land? No. What was the name of that album? Rough Diamonds. It's not good. It's barely good. But as bad as I think that album is, which I don't think it's that bad, but I think Electric Land is the best song Bad Company ever had. His voice on that and just the song itself, and I love Painted Face, but Electric Land is the greatest tune. Love it. But if you're talking about album sides, it's hard. No one's going to beat Desolation Angel side one. Every song, as the my friends across the pond would say, is a banger. Every song is a banger on that side. I think I might light up another cigar because I have a full coffee here. And also, I think a song, by the way, the guy who's the 77 to 84, Cut Loose by Paul Rogers solo, which came out in 83 after Bad Company broke up. That might have been Bad Company's best song if he recorded it with Bad Company, but I love Cut Loose by Paul Rogers, that solo song. I remember the video. This thing's getting. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab a small cigar. Hold on 1 sec. And I'm back. Anyway, so now I got the, this is the Diesel Natural, Vintage Natural. This is my favorite cigar this month for sure. Give me silver, blue, and gold is on, that's on Run with the Pack. The great thing about Silver, Blue, and Gold is it's the exact same chords as Satisfaction Guaranteed, just a half step higher. Mystery surrounds me, and same exact chords, F, C, G. Well, the other one's in a half step higher, but. I watched the thing, the making of, 25, was it 25? No, how many years was it back? 50 years going back? Yeah, 50 years anniversary, and they were talking to Paul Rogers and Simon Kirk. And they were both like, we don't understand it, but Silver, Blue, and Gold is like our biggest song. That's the song everybody wants. And they were like, yeah, we didn't, they didn't really get it. They liked the song, but they were like, they didn't think it was that much better than everything else. But the response from everybody is always, oh yeah, this cigar. I'm telling you right now, if you can smoke cigars, you got to try this cigar in this Vitola because I've had the 7 by 46 or whatever, and it's not as good, not even close. But this one in the 5 by 56 vintage natural by Diesel, I'm telling you right now, one of my all-time favorite smokes. All right, let's see what we said. Was said there? I missed it. In the beginning, I believed every word you said. That song has so many good. That album has so many good songs. I mean, they were a great band. I mean, it's a little clunky, if you will, for the most part, but I loved it. Bad Company's your favorite. I mean, they were great. I have to tell you, as a younger guy, I always hated Good Lovin' Gone Bad. And when I listened to it the other day, I was like, why did I not like this song? This is a great song. It was so weird how that happens. But I listened to it, like I said, when I listened to that album, I was like, this is actually a great song. Weep No More is a great song. Oh, Bad Company, the song. Company, always on the run. Just, oh, it's a great one. That first album's hard to beat. You know what I mean? I mean, what's it? Open with Bad Company? No, it opens with Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Rock Steady, Ready for Your Love. I forget what's next. Is it Don't Let Me Down? The Way That I Choose. On the next side is Bad Company. Moving. Moving on. The Way That I Choose. And then I'm missing one. And then fucking Seagull. Unless there's 8 songs on that album. No, there is 8, but I'm missing a song. Way That I Choose, Moving On. Oh no, as I said, that Bad Company, Moving On, The Way That I Choose, Seagull. So is there 8 songs on that first album? Or am I missing one? I always thought, like, if you listen, because I think they're both from '74. Bad Company's first album and Bridge of Sighs. Like, I love the vocal quality of both those guys back then. James Dewar and Paul Rogers, both legends. And James Dewar clearly underrated because they never got the accolades that Bad Company got. But, I mean, you listen, and I've said it before, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but, you know, it's like the Hendrix style of using the Univibe and everything, but with much better songs. Minnie Riperton's Loving You. You know, she's the mother of the comedian Maya Rudolph. And at the end of the song, she's like, Maya, Maya, Maya. At the end of Loving You, she's singing Maya because Maya Rudolph was like 2 years old then. I watched a great SNL bit. Speaking of Maya Rudolph, but she's not in this bit. But it was like the Wizard of Oz outtakes, and it was with Fred Armisen as the weather vane. And I'm telling you, if you've seen that bit, that just hits me so funny. Yeah, it's not bad. It's actually my mom house. I'm here now in Boston taking care of my mom. She's 87, and she just turned 87 last Friday, but she's struggling. I mean, she's her memory's going really bad, and yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't popped out because she well doesn't know how to turn the TV, doesn't know how to do anything really anymore. It's sad, but that's what we're here to do in life. Oh, Donny, I love Donny Hathaway. Everything is everything, man. Let me tell you, there's nothing better when you're driving in a city to fucking roll down the windows and crank the ghetto. The ghetto, boo doo doo doo. Yes, this is the ghetto. Show enough now. Show enough. Hey, Greg, let me know when you're in town. I'll meet you for a cigar and a coffee. I love Donny Hathaway. That would be cool at the Sphere. What was the Donny Hathaway? Where is the love you said you'd give to me as soon as you are free? Will it ever be? Where is the love? Oh, great. And the closer I get to you, that ending when he takes the chorus, but he's singing it delayed like it's ba da 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 da. The closer I get to you, ba-da, the feeling comes over me. And she comes in with me too. I fucking lose it every time. I don't know why it makes me laugh. Pulling us close, sweeter than the gravity. Oh, song is gold. Gold, Jerry, I tell you. He was awesome. Awesome. Yeah, cool. Yeah, let me know. Feeling comes though. There was a band around here that used to do Bad Company. They were like a Bad Company tribute band. And a buddy of mine was talking them up. So they were playing a free show in Easton, which is a town, a couple of towns over. So I went to it. I was like, this should be called Bad Iron Maiden. You could, one guy was using, I think, a dual rectifier. The other guy was using a Marshall. I don't know which model it was. I couldn't see it that clearly from where I was. But everything was so high gain. I was like, why the, like, go listen to those Bad Company records. That is like at the verge of breakup, those guitars. And Mick Ralph's. These guys are playing it. It sounds like Revelation by Iron Maiden. Bang! Over compressed high gain. Even in Revelation, it's not as compressed as how these guys were playing because it's still big. But I was just like, why the Iron Maiden guitar amps for Bad Company? I'm like, this isn't Bad Company at all. It sounds terrible. So now you know I'm that guy. Don't invite me to your shows. The closer I get to you, me too. Pulling us sweet. What does it say? Pulling us sweeter than the gravity. Is it pulling together sweeter than the gravity? Or pulling us closer? I forget. Maybe pulling us closer. It's a great song. Hey, Sean, thanks so much. Good seeing you. What else? Any other questions for me? Where is the love? I'm going to do some lessons in the next couple of weeks. I was thinking of teaching a song by the Brand New Heavies, and I'll tell you right now, no one's going to watch it. It's a song called Forever off their second album. But I want to put it up there just so I remember how the fucking thing goes. And the chords took me forever to figure out what the fuck the piano guy was playing. Because there's some, there's an altered chord in there where I'm just like, and I think I have the last chord in the verse down, but I got to give it another listen. Right now I have it as a E minor 7 flat 5, but I'm not 100% because I think I hear an A in there, which it could be an E minor 7 flat 5 out of 11. I just don't know. I haven't fully locked it in yet, but when I do, I'll teach that song. I have to feel like when I play it, I have to be confident that that's what it is. And right now, I'm playing it as an E minor 7 flat 5. And just sometimes when I hear it, I'm like, I hear an A. I hear an A in that chord, which would make it an at 11. Now, the problem is, on the piano, that's an easy fucking change. That's an easy addition to the chord. But on the guitar, it's a fucking bitch to play a B flat with an A in the same chord. Yeah, live. What's up?
7 o'clock, will you change the channel number?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
going.
here.
Can I get, will I be able to get out?
Yeah,
I'm not-
you're fine. All right, what'd you say, 7 o'clock to do it? All right. How is she?
It said the game channel, but it was ringing on at 7.
But how's she doing?
Just lying down.
All right.
I gave her some sleep.
What time is it now?
5:10.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? You know, if anyone has any questions about music theory or anything like that, by all means, ask away. I had a conversation with somebody about, he was telling me how he's learning the modes. And that's my sister taking off. It's going back home. And how, basically, how I poo-pooed them. I don't like the modes. And, you know, I asked him a couple of questions, and already I'm like, you see, that's just the reason that why you can't answer is why I don't like modes. Because you have to think about stuff, and it's unnecessary. But anyways, I then was going into how I look at certain things. You know. I mean, you could look at the people talk about the Dorian mode and they think about it, and it's like, yes, it's just the key. Like if you take D minor Dorian, you say, yes, it's just the key of C, but we're centering it on the D. And that's a way you could look at it. How I think of it is, well, I can see it that way, but then I'm not really thinking about intervallically of what's going on, which I do when I play. And so what I will do is I will look at that as a minor, it's a minor scale with a natural 6. That's how I look at it. Now, some people will tell you it's a raised 6. Raised from what? raised from the regular minor, yes, but in general, if you're playing a D minor and you have a B, B is the natural sixth to D, so it's natural. And the flat 3 and the flat 7 are flatted, and everything else is natural. That's how I look at it more. I just see the minors as for what they are. So, like, a Dorian minor would be a flat 3 and a flat 7. A melodic minor is just a flat 3. A harmonic minor is a flat 3 and a flat 6. And a natural minor is a flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. That's all. I just see it like that. I just think it's easier that way. I don't have to think about it. And a lot of times it's because where I feel that way is better. Now, if you're playing a song and the song just goes D minor, C to G, yeah, you're playing just in the key of C, so you can just think of it in the key of C. But if you're playing a static D minor, which in certain songs, like, you will have to, and then you have to solo over it, I can change whatever I want in that D minor. If I want to play outside, I can just play D melodic minor for a second and throw in that B natural in the C sharp, which is the natural 6 and the natural 7, and come out of it, which I can just roll through a few diminished chords, basically the B diminished and the C sharp diminished. But that'll give an outside sound. But that's how I think of it. I just think of it as it's just 6s and 7s, really, because once you say minor, the flat 3 is automatic. You know what I mean? So a flat 3 is automatic. Melodic minor is just everything else. Everything's normal except for the 3. Dorian, the 7 is flatted. Harmonic, the 6 is flatted. Natural, the 6 and 7 are flatted. And that's it. Makes it easy. I got into a musical argument the other day with my Alexa because a Santana scale. I wouldn't know. I don't really listen to Santana, but the one song I do like by him, I know it's just in natural minor that he solos in over I think it's natural minor. Anyways, me and Alexa got into an argument because now Alexa is AI, so they'll look stuff up for you and you can talk back to it and whatnot. And I was watching a video and the guy said something about what do you call it? He says Mixolydian flat 2, flat 6. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Mixolydian flat 2, flat 6. So I'm like, well, this sounds like a... Yeah. So I can't remember what the hell the scale was. It might have been that. But anyways, I asked Alexa and I said, what's the difference between that and melodic minor? And I think it was melodic minor. Let me just think for a second. Mixolydian is what? So we got the key of, let's say, A. A Mixolydian is G with a B flat. And what I say, flat 6 and an F. Is that right? Oh, I forgot what key I'm in now. Okay, A. So it said A Mixolydian flat 2, flat 6. So you got a B flat. You've got an F. You've got a G, because that's that. So if you have F, G, and one B flat, B flat, C sharp. Oh no, it's harmonic. A, B flat, C sharp, D, E, F, G. Yeah, it will be the same as D harmonic minor, right? Yeah, so it's D harmonic minor. So I said, what's the difference? D harmonic minor, D, E, F. And anyways, so they were telling me that it was different because the Mixolydian has a flat third, and I said, no, it doesn't. You're right. It has a major third. So I said, then what's the difference? Well, the difference is and it kept saying it had a flat third. I was going fucking bananas. I'm like, it doesn't have a flat third. I'm like, Mixolydian is a major third, and all you're doing is you're flatting the 2 and then flatting the 6. So yeah, it would have been a D harmonic minor, right? D, E, F, A, B flat, C sharp, yeah. I've done Where is the Love, absolutely. I believe it's capo 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I've done it. But anyways, so me and Alexa had it. It was going back for 5 minutes, and finally, she was like, "I'll report this." I said, "Yes, please report it." She's like, "Because it's telling me that it's minor." I'm like, "It's not minor." Again, another thing with the modes, why modes become ridiculous, because you got to think about it again. But when it's done that way, because all Mixolydian means is flat 7. So if you say Mixolydian flat 2, flat 6, all you're saying is flat 2, flat 6, flat 7 with a major. Would have been a lot easier just to say D harmonic minor in the 4th, in the 5th, right? The 5th of it, which again would be Phrygian dominant. But again, Phrygian dominant in A is D harmonic minor. And there was one I was working on with on Kashmir. The keyboard, the Mellotron parts are playing. Let me see. It's playing a D harmonic minor, but in the 4th mode from G. So you have G, A, B flat, C sharp, D, E, F sharp. No, F natural. F natural. Anyway, so that's that. That was in Kashmir, which I thought was pretty interesting. When it goes, all I see turns to brown. That little section there. He's just playing D harmonic minor, but he's rooting it around the G and the A. So he's playing both positions of it, which was the G would be the D harmonic minor in the 4th position, and then to the A, which is in the 5th, which again would be Phrygian dominant. Which again, it's all nonsense. All you have to know is what the notes are. D harmonic minor, B flat, and then C sharp. See, if there's only 7 notes, then if you say B flat and C sharp, then you know what all 7 notes are. Makes it easier. I like the cigar a lot. The coffee is empty. It's 2 cups. All right. What else? Any questions before I wrap this up? I think I got another maybe 10, 15 minutes. All I see turns to brown. As the, and then what's that main lick? The ba da 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 da. What the hell key is that in? So we got a F sharp, a G sharp, an A, and a B. That's the only 4 notes. It's based on a D, natural 6 and a sharp. A natural 6 and a sharp 4. D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. Oh, so it's just Lydian, 4th mode. So you have the key A. Hey, Greg, great seeing you, man. Thanks so much for hanging. Let me grab my cup. All I hear. Turns to brown. Do-do-do. Can it be? Can it be where I've been? Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da. This is what I've been drinking lately when I smoke cigars too, is this hint water. I don't know if you guys had this. It says, like if water jumped off a blackberry and hopped into your mouth. All I see. What else did we add lately? We did, we've been doing I Melt With You from the 80s. And we started doing Sanford Townsend Band, Smoke from a Distant Fire. And we did Strange Way recently by Firefall. Fun stuff. I do want to do a video on G&L, give my breakdown on G&L, why I think that went under. Well, I know why it went under. How it could have prevented it is probably what I mean. Which I think it could have easily been prevented. I think G&L makes a fantastic guitar. They did. And I still think, like, if you guys haven't played an ASAT, whether the imports or the American, those ASATs are great tellies. I like them better than tellies. Mine has a big fat V-neck with stainless frets, which I loved, that they would custom build that without really bumping the cost so much. But those ASATs are great. Great guitars. There's a lot of cars going up and down the street today. I don't know what's up. As the sun dun, dun, dun. I have no idea what any of those words are. Can it be? What else? Anybody? Anything? Let me see. What was the last thing? Is that Greg that left? Yeah. Oh, Cohiba or Partagas? In the Cuban, I'll take a Partagas D. I do like the Cohiba Esplendido. Cohibas are probably the most faked. I've smoked several real Cohibas. I've smoked several fake Cohibas. And I like Cohibas. I don't love them. I mean, I never had a Bahique or anything crazy like that. I think Partagas D is a solid. I mean, that's like up there with my favorite Cubans. The H. Upman. I can't believe I can't think of what they call that one with the 50. They have numbers that, but Magnum. The Magnum 54 is a great cigar by H. Upman. And I think the H. Upman Robusto 1888 and 1844 Añejo, which is a non-Cuban. That's a great cigar. And I like the Romeo y Julieta. I like the Monte Cristo, the Edmundo. I like, and I like them number two. I mean, they're all good. This is my third cigar already today, so maybe later I'll smoke my pipe. Probably the most ridiculous thing is the pipe community on YouTube, with everyone telling people how to smoke a pipe. If you can't figure out how to get that thing lit, smoke it. I mean, you need a YouTube channel for that. And every week it's a guy saying, you're doing this wrong. You're doing. Shut up. It's like when someone says, you're using this pedal all wrong. Oh, okay. Thank God for you. Thank God you're here. All clickbait nonsense. What else? What else? Again, I have new shirts coming out. They're going to be the Raglan baseball shirts, the white ones with the red sleeves. It's on my Shopify, which I don't know if it went live yet. Shopify's been a fucking brutal disaster to deal with, just because it's like you fill out what they ask you to fill out, and they're like, "Oh, you got one more." It's like everything's one more step. I'm like, what? I got to draw blood next? I see that Henry Vaccaro was building guitars, which I guess he started building them a while back. I had no idea. He started following me, and I was like, why do I know that name? Isn't that the guy that owned the Kramer Factory warehouse? And lo and behold, it was. And he's building guitars. I don't know. I think the market is so saturated right now, and the pricing has just gone out of control. People are crazy. Which is good for me, because I'll wait maybe a year and get rid of all my Marshalls and make a profit on those. I have a DSL, and I have two Mark IIIs. Two JCM 900 Mark IIIs, not the dual reverb, because that to me is, I mean, it's another thing when people say like JCM 900. It's like, well, there's a lot of them. The 4100 has nothing to do with the 2100. The 2100 is more like a 2203 with an added gain stage that you can take out of the circuit by turning it all the way off. It's got that clipping diode, so it's basically like putting a Boss. What's that pedal I like there? The overdrive there in front, the super drive, whatever that's called. But you can take it out of the circuit and it basically is a 2203. And I like that. The 2100 I like a lot. I have a 2100. I have a 2501 combo. I think it's for the money. It's the best Marshall, in my opinion. And I have a DSL 50. And if anybody wants them, just email me. I'll give you the highest price I can. Thank you. Everyone's quiet. All quiet on the Western Front. No one's talking. Again, I like this cigar a lot. The Diesel Vintage Natural. This week I got 3 gigs. I got a gig on Thursday night. I have students tomorrow, students Thursday, gig Friday, gig Saturday. Then next week it's back to normal, but Jimmy's out of town, so we have a guest singer. And then 2 weeks, I have a gig Thursday, a gig Friday, and a gig Saturday again. Beautiful out here. It's so nice to finally be able to sit outside. Although it's probably cooled down about 5 or 6 degrees since I got out here. Alexa, what's the temperature? Yep, 69 degrees. I didn't. Yeah, you know what? I saw the clip of it. Sorry, I saw the clip of him at that, but I didn't watch it. I don't know why. I saw it come on my thing. I saw. I don't know. People weren't digging it, I guess. Oh no, I did see it. I saw it. I saw about 2 minutes. I heard Getty's voice and I changed it immediately. His voice sounds terrible. Gas is about $4, 4 and change. California prices right now. I don't mind. Let's get rid of those people in Iran. Let's have peace in the Middle East for 1,000 years. I'll pay a little extra in gas for a few months. I'm fine with it. Get these motherfuckers out of there. I mean, with what's going on in Venezuela, it's going to cause Cuba to collapse. We can finally end that embargo and free those people for years. Free the Iranian people, have peace in the Middle East, have every place out there just be prosperous and great. Wouldn't that be a great world? I mean, everyone here is fucking crazy because it's like, oh, we're paying it up. You didn't say anything when Biden was in. You didn't say anything about the gas, and we're not fucking freeing people. You talk about gay rights. These people are being executed out there. Women are blamed for being raped. They're murdered because they're raped. These people have absolutely no rights. Get that regime the fuck out of there. Kill them all. And let's make that place free. Put some hotels up and make that a destination. Gas is $4. I eat about a dozen eggs a day. A dozen eggs a day, I'm paying $7.50 for 3 dozen eggs. 2 years ago, I was paying $23 for 3 dozen eggs at the same store. So pardon me if I don't give a shit. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. For 47 years, people suffered. I mean, you go to LA, half of the fucking Sunset Strip is owned by Iranians that moved out there in like late 79, 78, 79, 80, just to get out of that fucking country. All right, that's it. That one's done. All right, everybody. That was fun. Hope everyone has a good rest of the week. A safe one, a healthy one. Keep rocking. Tobacco, yeah, it's expensive here. Not terrible, but it's bad. It's amazing, because they'll sit there and tell you like, oh, because tobacco's bad for you. It's not. I mean, I can go show you statistics how it's nothing compared to what the food industry has been doing to people. Nothing. The food industry is criminal, and what happened against the tobacco companies was criminal as well. But I have people tell me all the time, like, "Oh, do you ever check your cholesterol? This or that?" I'm like, "Do you listen to your doctors? Your doctors are the ones who got you sick. All these people are sick." I had a guy who was telling me about how my diet was terrible and whatever. I'd love to see what he feels about it. Oh, that's right, he died of a heart attack. Yeah, okay, that's good. And then this other guy would say, "Well, no, he had a heart attack too." Interesting. So I would say I'm not a doctor. YouTube wants me to tell you I'm not a doctor because they're douchebags, but doctors are dummies and they'll sit there and tell you the cholesterol is bad for you. When dietary cholesterol makes up about 25% of your body's production of cholesterol, the rest of it is what your body needs. And usually, if you have high cholesterol and a dangerous high, it's mainly because your body's trying to heal. 60% in your area. Where the fuck are you? That's awful. Every warning that they have on a tobacco label, like tobacco does this, this can cause this, they should put it on every processed food and take it off tobacco. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's sad. I'm out of the matrix, everybody. I have my own beliefs on everything, and we shall see. GG. Wait, why are you saying GG? What was that? Why can't I read that? Oh. All right. Well, everybody, that was it for me. I'm good. Hope you guys, if you made it to the end, it's something special. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hey, thanks so much. All right, everyone. Very good. Now, how do I get out of this fucking thing? All right, this thing here. All right, everyone, have a great one. Thank you.